Hello friends, welcome to another video. I haven't filmed in a minute, so I'm happy to be here and chatting about books again. Today we are going to be starting a new reading vlog. Let's talk about the books that I'm currently in the middle of. Starting off, Winterkeep by Krisitn Cashore. This is the fourth installment of the Graceling Realm series, which is made up of interconnected standalones, all set within the same world. I really like Cashore's writing in this series. I think that she does a great job of balancing really heavy topics with really light moments. I appreciate the well-roundedness of the characters and the relationships that are explored. I also find the plot usually to be quite interesting. It's usually very politically led, and all of those things have been true for the past installments as well as this one. I am about halfway through on this one. I find it to be so propulsive that I just want to keep coming back to it and picking up where I left off. This one's a lot of fun because in addition to everything I mentioned, we also have little telepathic foxes that bond to humans. We even get a POV from one of the foxes, and I am just enjoying it so much. I'm excited to continue with this, and I think I might finish it this week. The third book that I need to talk about, I'm also about halfway through my nonfiction at the moment. It's Bullshit Jobs by David Graeber. However, I got to about halfway through. I was finding it to be very repetitive. The ideas and what was being proposed in the book I find really interesting, but I also find it to be really heavy. The author uses a lot of anecdotes, which I do like anecdotes. I think they are great for reinforcing points, but I was really struggling mentally and emotionally to get through this. My Libby hold ended. To get the book again, it would take estimated about like 10 weeks, and I think I just want to be done with it. I found the summary for the book on Hoopla, so I'm going to listen to that. It's about 17 minutes long. I really think I got the gist of what the author was trying to say, but more importantly, I want to see what is his call to action. So far, there wasn't any, even through the halfway mark. It was just still trying to establish the idea of these bullshit jobs. So I think we're going to start there. Just listen to that summary. I have some sewing that I am in the middle of. I am trying to mend one of my cat's little toys that she has been playing with a lot. I think I need something to listen to while I do that. Mina. The bird is done. Whoop. I really don't know what I'm doing when it comes to sewing, but I feel like mending is pretty forgiving, so hopefully that's a sign to anyone that's watching that may be thinking of throwing something away or getting it replaced, maybe it's mendable. Now I was planning on doing an indoor workout for the day, but I just looked and it's 50 degrees, so I'm gonna head outside instead. I'm going to stretch and chat a little bit about bullshit jobs because I finished the summary. Now keep in mind I already read the first half. I loved the introduction to this because it made me feel so seen and validated about some of the mental and emotional challenges I had had in a white-collar workplace. When I was reading this, I was going through a lot of emotions. It made me realize the grass is indeed not greener on the other side. There isn't going to be some magic job that makes me feel more fulfilled. There's just so much that goes into our work culture that is based around politics and optics, making things look good. A lot of jobs are very performative. It's just good to acknowledge these types of things and not get sucked into false optimism, I guess. I've been trying to chat about it with my friends and former coworkers a little bit. It's tricky because there's a lot of generalizations that are made in the book. There's always exceptions. I'm sure there are people who are extremely fulfilled and happy with what they do, but there's a shocking amount of examples where people are just there to fill some type of function that isn't making any impact on anything other than making somebody higher up feel good about something. Again, I feel like I'm speaking in a lot of vagaries, a lot of generalizations every time I try to talk about this concept. It makes a lot of people just feel like they don't know what their purpose is, right? As humans, we want to feel like we have a purpose. We want to feel like we're making an impact on the world. I finished the summary, and ultimately the call to action, universal basic income, essentially a form of welfare, I guess, almost like socialism. I cannot see that ever being a thing, especially in the United States. Apparently the author is from the UK, so maybe there, I don't know, but definitely not in the US. There would need to be like a major cultural shift and political shift that I just do not foresee us anywhere close to. It's funny because this was like a 5-star intro, but then I couldn't even finish it. But it's like a 5-star DNF. I don't know. I can't even recommend it to people in good faith because there was just so much redundancy. It is interesting going from blue collar work to white collar work because you think that, oh, it's such a dream to not be on your feet and not be facing customers, and I worked in service mostly, so I appreciated a lot of elements of being in a white collar desk job, but I can see why also it's not any better for us emotionally in the long run. So much strategizing just to never really implement the strategies, which was just wild to me. So that was my experience in terms of bullshit job. But I do think it is better in terms of general quality of life. If anyone were to ask me, I would say we should all be working, maybe say 20 hours a week, right? And then you can spread the jobs around amongst multiple people. If we really have like less work to do, and which we should have less work to do compared to previous decades, right? We're constantly getting more efficient. Give everyone like 20-hour-a-week jobs. Keep the benefits for everyone. I wonder what people would do with their free time. Probably complain. Probably still find something to complain about. But yeah, that would be my solution if I were running for office. Everyone gets a 3-day work week and universal healthcare. One can dream. have a little mini haul because I went out and got a few steps in. First stop was the library. I returned Invincible Volume 3 and I picked up Invincible Volume 4. So this is a up next read coming down the pipeline. And then I was looking for a recess for either their CBD drinks or their mocktails. So I was thinking of swapping out my alcoholic beverages with something different, but I still wanted something fun. So I did find this one called the Hemp Division, the brand, and then this flavor is blood orange, and it has magnesium and 25 milligrams of CBD. I'm pretty sure it doesn't do anything, but pretty much mostly natural flavors. So there was the blood orange and then the butterfly lemonade, which is this super fun purple flavor. Last but not least, I just picked up a little hydration drink to get me through the rest of the afternoon, trying to switch things up. And this seems to have a lot of nutrients. I can't imagine that your body can actually absorb 200% of vitamin B in a single beverage, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. All right, welcome to the end of the vlog. So I ended up finishing not one, but 2 books that I am currently in progress in series of. I actually ended up picking up on Sunday the 4th volume of Invincible, and I actually like this one the best so far. I'm really enjoying how the pacing is picking up and all of the different threads that are being introduced for the plot and how just quickly it's all moving. Love to see it. And I was able to finish it in one day, so that's always like so fun, getting a little momentum. Yesterday I read the final few chapters of Winterkeep. Still enjoying a lot of the same things that I liked in the series overall. This installment may have been maybe a little bit weaker than the other previous 3 that have been in this world. It follows some of the same characters that we've seen previously, but it focuses on a new character named Lavisa. One of the biggest strengths of this author's writing, I think, is the way that she explores young adult themes. This is a young adult series, and I think it really is well suited for that audience. The theme and takeaways that I kind of had with this, where we were really exploring a difficult relationship with a 16-year-old, the main character Lavisa, and her abusive mother, and how the mother was treating her and her younger brothers. Kind of heavy topic there, but the author handles it, I think, pretty well. There's nothing graphic, and in the end, there's very much a hopeful takeaway in coming out of those types of relationships, encouraging the victim to not settle for that kind of love, not settle for being treated that way, and basically start to be able to build up their own self-worth again after having that type of experience with being loved or loving somebody who is abusive to them. I think that could work really well for certain audiences. I think it definitely has its place in young adult fiction. I also really liked the telepathic animals in this. There's the foxes, which I mentioned, and then there was also these things called silver cows, which lived in the ocean, but I was picturing them like stingrays, basically. The animals in this were very wholesome. I think it was just a fun thing to have in addition to the world. The nitpick or qualm I had was definitely with the subplot romance, which I would say it's kind of like a tertiary element. I wasn't a huge fan of this pairing. I wanted to root for them. I was rooting for them through most of the story, but by the time they got together, I just didn't really care too much. Yeah, I just didn't really see much chemistry between them. Part of that might have been that they weren't on page together a lot. Yeah, I just don't think the author like built up the relationship quite right in a way that I could really appreciate when they finally did get together. Probably my biggest complaint is the male love interest was a side character in previous installments. He was really well developed. He was an interesting side character, and he had a good arc in the other books. But then in this book, he is actually one of the POVs, and he somehow lost all his personality and just became diminished to being big, strong man who has feelings for one of our main female leads. And that was kind of it. He just got kind of bland in this book. Also, they mentioned how large he was so many times in this installment, and that was never mentioned to my recollection. Not emphasized nearly as much in previous books, so kind of bizarre. Overall, I enjoy the writing style. I enjoy the kind of simplistic world building that we see in Graceling and kind of the way that it expands in each installment. I like that we explore and follow different characters each time and explore different locations in each installment. There's one left in this series. I am planning to continue and finish out the series. Just one left anyways, and I enjoy it. So I think this landed pretty much around like a 3 stars, like pretty solid overall. And that's it. So that is all for this video, wrapping up this vlog. Quite happy, quite pleased with completing 2 more books in a series that I am in progress with. Let me know any thoughts you have in the comments, or feel free to leave me a fox emoji. With that, I will see you in another video.